Hey, what's going on, NFL fans, Atlanta Falcon fans? It's your boy Antoine Smith, man. Y'all know how I get down. Y'all know how I do it, man. Y'all know what to do when y'all come in, man. Press that subscribe button. Press that notification bell, man. So every time I drop a video, y'all be the first ones to know. Help me get back into the algorithm. I truly appreciate it as always. My boy Telvin Phelps, man. What's up, my dude? Always supporting the sports machine. Definitely appreciate you, man. We're gonna talk right quick, man. King ATL supporter, what's up, my dude? We're gonna talk right quick about Shedeur Sanders, and possibly what happened. We're gonna look at the speech that he gave on 30-second clip. But Shedeur Sanders, man, I think he got smeared last night because for some reason Jackson Dart jumped in front of him and ended up going to the Giants after the Giants took Abdul Carter. Now, depending on how far Shedeur falls, I myself said on the draft show last night, I feel like he'll be picked 33 with the Browns, and it only makes sense because they only have Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett, who they traded for, who I think is the third string quarterback, could sit. If they don't take Shedeur, Kenny Pickett could take over in a couple of years. Or the Browns could wait the next year to take one of those quarterbacks. Or, Quinn Ewers, the guys like that are still in the draft. But I just think Shedeur, to me, Pittsburgh in the 20s made sense. And I could see the Pittsburgh Steelers trading up for him in this round. Even though they're in the same division as the Browns, that would be a tough move. I just think what's going on with Shedeur is more of reputation. And what I mean by that, a lot of people don't like his personality. I'm not going to say ego. I'm going to just say personality, but you got to think, man, personality makes a person who they are. And you can't blame a person for having a personality that they were born with. Can you change your personality? Absolutely not. But you can adjust it to and adapt to the environment that you're in. But Shedeur Sanders put up the numbers last year. I think it was 74% completion percentage. That's crazy. 4,000 yards, 37 touchdowns. So, I mean, he put up the numbers to garner a look in the first round. And the way the media do things these days, depending on who it is, they can have it favored to where they can just, ruin your reputation. And that's what they're trying to do. But before we get it going, man, let's look at the quick clip of the short that he shared. I'm going to put it up on Twitter right quick. And I want y'all to look at this right quick because to me, this is a little utterly ridiculous. But let's listen to it right quick.
We all didn't expect this, of course, but I feel like with God, anything possible, everything possible. I don't.
And that's what you got to keep trusting God. You got to keep trusting God in these type of situations. When people smell your name, God will put you above the rest as to where He wants you to be. And as we always say, whatever God gives for you is for you, and can't nobody take it away. If He opens that door, can't nobody close it. But if y'all look at that setup he had behind him and look around that room, I think you can Google it about Shadeur's draft room. That thing was laid out, man. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. You see, he sort of dressed like his dad on draft night with the black and the gold. But look, Shedeur, talented. I think he's going to have a superb NFL career. I just hope he lands in the right spot. So this is why you don't rush things. Sometimes, like he said, things happen for a reason.
I feel like this happened, for no reason. All this is, of course, fuel to the fire. And under no circumstance, we all know this shouldn't happen. But we understand we're on the bigger and better.
And that's the crazy part. He's that young and knows it shouldn't happen. He knows he's more talented than Jackson Dart. Yeah, he's probably more talented than Cam Ward, but reputation, media, hype, all of that, sometimes it could kill your draft stock. Because look at Mike Green. Mike Green, everybody had Mike Green going to the Falcons at number 15. Mike Green is still on the board going into the second round. How crazy is that? So look, man. Look, just should do. When you get to the league, I'm telling you not to stop being yourself, but learn when to be yourself and when to, I would say, act in a professional manner. And I know he knows how, but perception is everything, and you just got to change the way you think.
Other things. Tomorrow's the day. We're gonna be happy regardless. Legendary.
Ooh. And he said he gonna be happy regardless. And that's the type of attitude you should have. No matter what. That's the type of attitude that you should have. But I just think he knew, he should have been drafted. But things happen, and like I said, everything happened for a reason. Hopefully he ends up with a team that can use his skill set. I still see the Giants. I'm sorry, not the Giants, the Saints in this round. I'm still looking at Las Vegas because we know that Tom Brady, he trained with Tom Brady. Tom Brady's been, giving him pointers and stuff all the way through college. So the Raiders could be a spot. The Giants disappointed me because I thought him and Malik Neighbors was the perfect match. But they moved back up into the first round to grab Jackson Dart. Nephew, they grabbed Jackson Dart because I guess they're saying he was high on their board, but you know me, I don't believe it. But again, man, Shadeur Sanders, he just gotten to the point where he's just going to have to prove it on the football field. And there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes that's the best way to do it. If you prove something to somebody, it's just the best way to shut up the haters. Just that simple. Nephew, Quinn Hughes, I don't know where he's going to go. He could be one of those guys for the Steelers and Browns and Saints. I mean, who knows? Because I could see him as a backup in Miami for Tua. But a couple of these quarterbacks, they're going to end up in the perfect spot. So down the road, they can take over. Larry, what's up, man? Cushido, I hope I pronounced that right. Thank you for tuning in. Jay Scoom says Shadeur Sanders. Maybe not a starter, but would be cool for the fans. Yeah, I have him listed as a day 3 pick, 7th round or going undrafted. He has the speed and the athleticism to play the game. But sometimes he gets lost in the sauce. And what I mean by that, he needs to work on technique. He needs to work on awareness on the field. But I think if he gets under the right coach, Shadeur Sanders could have a decent NFL career because we know his dad's going to teach him the rope if he play with the right team and he's a safety, a defensive back. So his dad has been teaching him along the way. Yeah, Anthony, it's definitely a great night for the Falcon fan base. But if y'all can go to my other video I dropped before starting this live stream, give the Falcons a grade on last night's first 2 picks. Honestly, I think the Falcons won their NFL draft and really had the best first round of any team last night because you get 2 elite edge rushers and James Pierce, Jalen Walker, who's an off-ball linebacker that can be an edge or a middle linebacker. And James Pierce, he can play outside linebacker or edge. So they have 2 versatile guys they have on the field at the same time, athletic freaks of nature. And I'm telling y'all, Arnold Ebiketie better watch his back because those 2 boys coming, and you got Braden Trice coming back. You still have Zach Harrison, Angelo Malone. So the edge room is pretty much solidified. Now, could they draft another edge? Who knows? But they definitely need to go get an interior defensive lineman to help replace Grady Jarrett's not his leadership, but just losing him. If they can find somebody to replace Grady Jarrett, a guy that can come in, make an impact, not instant impact, but just the impact his first year, I think it solidifies his defensive line because we got to grow in the trenches. But we'll get into that in a minute. But yeah, man, great night. I'm not gonna drop the link, man. Not gonna drop the link today. What should the Falcons get? There's a lot of ways they can go, man. But I think a guy that I'm gonna be looking at in the 3rd round, if he's still on the board. Like I said, you got to build in the trenches. We lost Drew Dalman. Yeah, we have Ron Nuzell, but how long will he last? I'm I'm looking at Jared Wilson in the third round. Georgia center, elite run blocker, great pass blocker. He just has all the tools. You talk about somebody with good lower body strength, great leader on the field. But Jared Wilson is an elite talent. Could go in the second round, depending on who's looking for a center. But I can see Jared Wilson coming off the board in the second round, even though he has a third round grade, and I think he would be excellent for the Falcons. Yeah, Rook on the inside too, but he's athletic. He's very athletic, but he still needs time to grow as well. Yeah, I can see Miro to the Saints, definitely. Jalen Milrose, if he ends up in the right situation where somebody can hone his skills and help him develop into an NFL quarterback, he could be scary because you can talk about that guy that can use his legs. He has a cannon for an arm. He had one of the best deep balls in college football. When it comes to intermediate and short, he just can't see what's right in front of him. I don't understand that. But again, under the right coach like an Andy Reid or somebody under that Andy Reid tree, Jalen Milrose will be a nightmare in the NFL. A-Need, what's good, my dude? Yeah, we won that draft, broski. We definitely did. Ghost Pepper, I give him an A+ too. Defensive tackle, I can see that. Uncle Louis, man, what's good, man? Thank you for joining us last night, man. I absolutely enjoy having you on, man. Thank you, Uncle Lou, for coming in, man. And y'all don't know, this is Tyler Algiers' uncle, man. Came and joined us on the draft show last night. Gave some great takes, and man, we had a blast, man. Y'all go check it out if y'all missed it. Cheesecake, yeah, I can see Ramsey, man. They could actually get Jalen Ramsey this year for a pick next year. If they get him a third round pick next year, I think Jalen Ramsey could come to Atlanta. They can move around his salary and make it work. But we'll see how it turns out. But Jalen Ramsey, I would definitely love to see that. That would take the Falcons defense to the next level. STF, what's good? Yeah, Watson. Demond Watson, that's my dude. 6'5", 450 pounds. Florida, he's going to have to lose about 50 to 75 pounds. I think they want him under 400, but he's 6'5". I mean, he can hold the weight. He's still quick on his feet, and he's a dominant run defender. Yeah, Uncle Louis, our trench is locked in. I can see us taking a right tackle. The kid from James Madison, Charles Grant, from William and Mary. Charles Grant. I could see him, the Falcons, with him in the third round. Because he's one of those guys whose draft stock is grown the closer we've got to the draft. Travis, what's good, my dude? What's good? Kiara say, I think the Brown avoiding Sanders. I mean, they could. That's true. But I think they would be making a mistake if they pass up on him because, I mean, look, Cleveland can't keep a quarterback. The Deshaun Watson signing blew up in their face, $230 million down the drain. Somehow they found a way to make $35 million in cap space, but they're still going to have to pay all that contract no matter what. Yeah, I can still see him going to New Orleans. I can still see it. Yeah, Kirk got to go. Absolutely true. Jack Sawyer, I wouldn't mind that either, man. But I think we got our two edge rushers, man. I think we need to go to the interior of the line, or we need to go cornerback to solidify that secondary. Zay, what's up, my dude, man? Y'all go check out Zay in the Bag on YouTube. Doing this thing, man, from Baltimore, man, doing this thing. T-Dub say, do you think we'll get a defensive tackle in the draft? And do you believe in the defensive tackle we have? I believe in them. It's only as good as they're going to be coached. Because last year, and we got Taquan Graham back as well, so he's a veteran that I think could help these young guys. Dorless, Rook. We lost Eddie Goldman as well. I think he went to Washington. But I can see a defensive tackle in this draft. Like I said, Demond Watson, Deion Walker. There's a couple in this draft. Alfred Collins from Texas. He's going to be a sleeper in this draft. If they can get Alfred Collins from Texas, he's 6'4", about 335, space eater, dominant run defender, plays with good leverage on the defensive line, demands a double team. Alfred Collins will be a guy I'll be looking at. So yeah, I could see another defense tackle. Uh, yeah, I mean, he said he didn't leave the door closed. But we'll see how that turns out. But honestly, I think Jordan Fuller signing with the Falcons kind of closed the door on Justin Simmons. And if they take another safety in this draft, close the door on Justin Simmons. But I mean, it happens. Yeah, Kiara, I would love Shedeur to go to the round and take over Matthew Stafford is gone. Like I said, a guy like Sean McVay, he has a tree around the NFL as well. You talk about a guy that can teach offense. A guy like Shadeur Sanders could learn a lot from Sean McVay and take over from Matthew Stafford. Yeah, he would have to sit a year or two. But once he takes over, I think Matthew Stafford is going to teach him as they go. And the round be a pretty nice spot for Shedeur. But like I said, I could see the Raiders more than anybody because of his relationship with Tom Brady. And maybe Tom Brady know what he's doing. He went and got a running back yesterday to go along with Brock Bowers. Now you go get a quarterback for those two weapons, and then you still get a receiver in this draft, and you're still cooking. So, yeah, I would love the Rams, but I'm still banking on the Raiders to go for him. Yeah, I heard we the favorite to get Jalen Ramsey, but I think the Raiders are in it too. But I think the Falcons are more put together than the Raiders, and I think Ramsey would rather come to Atlanta because he uh for played for Raheem Morris with the Rams. Yeah, we need that space eater ghost pepper. We definitely do. I think that helps out the linebackers and these young guys that we just got. You talk about young, agile, um, great pursuit. Pierce and Walker are going to wreck hell on the NFL for the next 5 years. I think. I think we said it corner, slot corner. I think D. Orphan and Clark Phillips can hold it down. And if they get a Jalen Ramsey, he can play the slot or he can play outside. This is why Jalen Ramsey makes a lot of sense to Atlanta. And like I said, Terry Fontenot knows how to work the salary cap, so that would not be a problem at all. Uh, Cheesecake Mike Green. I think that sexual assault, man. I think it's gonna hurt him. But I will tell you this: if a team like Pittsburgh or Baltimore, who preach defense, get a Mike Green on their team, it's gonna be a wrap because they know what they're getting and they know how to get the best out of their defenders. And when you have a foundation that's set on defense, guys like Mike Green only elevates your defense. So I could see him in Pittsburgh or Baltimore because I actually thought he was going to go to Baltimore last night, but they got Malachi Starks. But if they can get a Mike Green and a Malachi Starks, I think they would have the best draft so far after 2 rounds. So, look, Mike Green to a Pittsburgh, that would be tough. Yeah, I don't think the Falcons get another edge rusher. If they do go defensive line, it'll be defensive tackle. So, yeah, I can see that. Keith Simmons, what's up, my guy? What's up? Saints could get Mike Green as well. Who do you think is up next? Um, Third round pick, Keith. I said it a little earlier, man. I like Jarrett Wilson as the Falcons pick in the third round, center out of Georgia. You got to solidify that offensive line. Yeah, we got Ryan Nuzell, but I think Jarrett Wilson could be a solid starter in the NFL for a lot of years to come. And to be honest, I think Drew Dahman wanted too much money, and they know where in the world I would have paid him that kind of money. But let's do a small recap of what's going on. I think I started Fox Sports and PFF. I'm sorry, PFF. They gave their grades as to the draft and every pick in this round. So we're gonna look over that right quick, and I let y'all jump in for a second, and then we'll roll. But let's look at this first round grade as to where they think everybody stands. So we're gonna start at the top, And we're gonna move pretty fast because a lot of these picks, we already know what's what. But grade for Tennessee, above average with Cam Ward. I can agree with that to a certain extent, but they needed a quarterback, and you can't help that. So he had a 92.9 grade last year at Miami. Plays with a strong IQ, can use his legs, has the arm to make all the throws. At Tennessee, they're still going to have to get the receivers because Traylon Burks has been a bust, and they've lost a lot the last couple of years at the position. So I still think Tennessee has some growing to do. Yeah, I agree. Jacksonville, their pick was elite. Travis Hunter, they need help at both positions, and cornerback and wide receiver. Then you have Campbell down there in Jacksonville, and then you give Trevor Lawrence another target. I agree with this one. It's elite. Abdul Carter definitely elite to go along with Dexter, Lawrence, and Brian Burns. But I think Kayvon Thibodeau could get traded sometime today or sometime after the draft, depending on what they can get for him. Because I just don't see them carrying three defensive ends that they got to pay. And Kayvon Thibodeau is next. He's into his fourth year, so next year would be his fifth year option when he has to sign, which he has to sign for this year. So Abdul Carter, I can say that as elite as well. Will Campbell definitely elite. Got to protect the young quarterback in Drake May. Now they too have to get receivers for Drake May to throw to. But getting the offensive line was absolutely the right move. Mason Graham, the biggest steal so far of the first round, other than the Falcons. I think he goes to Cleveland, helps Myles Garrett, and help that run defense and help get that Cleveland Browns defense back on track. Remember, they still have Denzel Ward and Greg Newsome at cornerback, Grant Dale Pitt at safety, so they still have some pieces on that Cleveland defense, but getting a guy that can get after the quarterback and stop the run, I think Cleveland got a win here, and they traded back and got extra picks so they can move around in the draft as they need to. We knew this was coming. Ashton Jennings to the Raiders knew it was coming. Like I said, you need to take some pressure out Brock Bowers. They have Geno Smith at quarterback, but still, I think if Shedeur comes here, he can sit for about a year or two and take over for Geno in a couple of years because Geno is 35 years old. And Shedeur is, 12 years younger. So I could still see the Raiders going quarterback. This was a shocker, but not really because Mekhi Becton, who played for the Eagles last year and won the Super Bowl and signed a new deal somewhere else, he was a bust in New York. So they've been needing another tackle since. And Mimbu, one of the better pass and run blocking tackles in this draft. I think he's going to make an immediate impact. And for those running backs, Breece Hall and the kid from Wisconsin last year, this is damn sure going to work for those guys. But Dwayne Ruffin, what's up, my dude? Yeah, I agree, Mike. That was a crazy pick, but they needed a defensive lineman, and we don't know what's going to happen with Hendrickson. So it was definitely a good pick. But let's get this thing back going. Carolina Panthers, Ted McMillan, that was kind of a surprise. But Bryce Young needs weapons. They got Leggett last year, then you get McMillan this year. So look for Bryce Young to take another step. And I absolutely love the pick, even though they need defensive edge rushes. With Mike Green still on the board, you can see the Panthers move up early in the second round. So we'll see. Saints taking Kevin Banks, excellent move. Their offensive line was decimated. They had two retirements. Ryan Ramczyk and Penning is not going to sign his fifth-year option. So Banks comes in right away, and that's a tackle they have for the next 5 years. Colston Lovely, not a surprise. Even though they have Cole Kmet, they can run a lot of two tight end sets. And Caleb Williams now has weapons with DJ Moore, Odunze, and Keenan Allen. So you add those two tight ends to tight ends to what they have at wide receiver. Caleb Williams has all the weapons at his disposal, so he has no choice but to succeed, especially if he has somebody decent calling plays. Michael Williams to Georgia. Of Georgia goes to San Francisco. Pretty good pick to go along with Nick Bosa. They've lost a lot on that defensive line the last 2 years, so this is pretty much a good pick. I thought they were going to go corner because their secondary is decimated. They lost Javarius Ward, they lost the safety. So they needed a lot on that defense. Dre Greenlaw is gone, so this is a good pick, but could have went cornerback. I think would have been a better pick, but hey, we'll see how it goes. We knew the Dallas Cowboys was going to go offensive line. They've lost Zach Martin, Tyron Smith just retired as well. They lost Frederickson a couple of years ago, so they need to rebuild that line. And Tyler Booker, if y'all saw how he was running down that tunnel last night, he ready to go. So I think this was an excellent pick. Solid pass blocker, solid run blocker, and Dak Prescott need to be protected. And those running backs need to have open run lanes. So this was an excellent pick. Let's see where we at. We at pick 13. They're doing a preview on Gant right here, and he goes to the Miami Dolphins. And this was a sneaky good pick because you talk about a solid run defender. Miami couldn't stop nobody running the football last year. Bradley Chubb playing on that outside, he's going to need a guy to open up rush lanes for him. So this was an excellent move, and this could be a great building block for the Dolphins. Like I said, Jalen Ramsey may be on the way out, but if you build up that defensive line like you're supposed to, I think Miami could be heading back in the right direction. So we're going to go to the Colts. I like this pick, man. Tyler Warren, one of my favorites in this draft at tight end. But I do like the kid from Bowling Green. I think he's going to be exceptionally well in the NFL. But you add this tight end to an offense that has Jonathan Taylor, that takes pressure off him. I hope they get the quarterback position straight because Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones, to me, neither one of them are the guy. So they're going to have to run and move the football the best way they can. But getting a tight end who they say is the quarterback's best friend, a guy that's athletic and versatile, I think is a very smart pick. Atlanta Falcons, we know what that is. Edge rusher, they label it as only good, but I think it's elite because of what he can do, playing inside and outside. And as they say, the Falcons' pass rush win rate was only 34%. That's terrible. Only 230 pressures, which is also terrible. I think this guy can make a hell of a difference. So they graded good. I graded excellent. I think Jalen Walker was, to me, the biggest need and the biggest steal as to where they got in front because he could have easily been a top 10 pick. Walter Nolan, this is another good pick. Cardinals haven't had a defensive lineman with this kind of talent in a very long time. So, like they say, you add another guy like this to the defensive front. Highest run grade, 91.6, 7th-ranked prospect, instant upgrade. They need an edge rusher as well, but this is a great start because Walter Nolan can play the end or the tackle position, and he's agile enough to make a difference against the run and against the pass. So they was ranked 27 in EPA, and that's not good. Yards per rush, if y'all want to know. So that means their run defense was terrible. So you add a Walter Nolan to take some of the pressure off those other guys. And you got to remember the kid from Tulsa who they drafted a couple of years ago hadn't panned out. Isaiah Simmons got traded a couple of years ago, so they need help. And someone said something about Shamar Stewart. That production was not there. But when you talk about athleticism and being a freak athlete at his size, I just hope that the bigger defensive coordinator can unlock his talent. And Trey Hendrickson, that's going to be a distraction. But Shamar Stewart could learn from him if he stays. But I think Shamar Stewart in the right system, I would have loved to see him in Pittsburgh. Because, like I said, those defensive built teams, a guy like Shamar Stewart could thrive because they would know how to build around him. But, I mean, it's an okay pick, but at the end of the day, hey, it's their pick. Seattle. But before I go on, man, thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate it. And Shedeur, like the Panthers, they went wide receiver. I was surprised, but should I really be? Not really. Um, let's keep it moving, man. And if y'all have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. Um, Gray Zabel, a guy that thrived at the Senior Bowl. He's been talked about heavy for the last 2 months, and he can play all 5 positions on the field. And we know Seattle has struggled keeping offensive line. They say he had a 93.1 pass blocking grade, which is excellent. But it said he would join the Seahawks interior line that was ranked 29th and 52.3 pass blocking grade. That's awful. And I see why Geno Smith was ready to go. And against the run, it was 60.1, and that's terrible as well. So getting a guy like this that's versatile up and down the line, he can play guard, center, or tackle. So wherever they place him, it's an upgrade. So this was an excellent pick. They say above average, but I think it was an excellent pick. This was a shocker. Emeka Egbuka from Ohio State. I thought they were going to go edge rusher, but I guess again that Mike Green situation scared off a lot of teams. But Mike Green right here would have made a lot of sense. But Mike Evans is long in the tooth. He's a Hall of Fame career. I think Mike Evans is about 33 right now, 32, 33. So you add a younger guy like this, Chris Godwin coming back off injury. I just think this made sense outside of edge rusher because Baker Mayfield another weapon, and I think he needed it because this just made that offense just that more tough. So I think the Falcons have to get at least one more cornerback in this draft. And like I told y'all, I'm praying for Jalen Ramsey, but we'll see how that works out. But the way the Bucks drafted, Falcons got to get at least one more corner. This was a bit of a surprise, but not really, because they have Patrick Surtain, who's one of the best defensive players in the league, if not the best. One defensive player of the year last year. This kid is a natural zone defender. He plays well against the run, and he can move all around the field. His instincts are unmatched, and he kind of, with instincts, he's kind of a Patrick Surtain. So if those two lock down the corners, this could help the Broncos pass rush, which was one of the best in the NFL last year. I think it's upgraded their defense tremendously. They could be a top 5 defense in 2025. Before we move on, Grandizer, what's good, my dude? He said, can you please repeat your letter grades for the Falcons 2 picks? I haven't given a pick for them, but they rated as good, but with Jalen Walker, I think it was an excellent pick. I think it was an elite pick because he kills 2 birds with 1 stone. We talk about Troy Anderson can't stay healthy. J.D. Bertrand is going to his 2nd year, but he's a natural run defender. You talk about Caden Ellis. A move like this with Jalen Walker, Caden Ellis could play more of a edge position and get out to the quarterback just a little bit more, and this is what they need. So Jalen Walker's versatility can make this Falcon defense very unpredictable. So with that pick, it would be elite, and I'll be at the James Pierce pick very soon. He said, did you list your top 5 day 2 picks? If you have them, players we hope can fall to the Falcons. I would do that after I drop the live. Then I would drop it on YouTube, and you can check it out there. Yeah, that autocorrect hell, Kier. You say you wired, yeah. Oh, you said you ain't wiped that smirk off your face yet? Oh, yeah. Everybody was hyped last night. Yeah, Mike. Yeah, he plays 2 different positions. That's going to be dangerous. That's going to give offensive coordinators nightmares. So let's see how it plays out. But let's keep this thing rolling, man. We almost there. Derek Harmon, this was a must. Cam Hayward is 36 years old. 2 years left at the most. I think he finished his career with the Steelers. You talk about a highly graded run stopping defensive tackle, 91.2 against the pass. One of the best interior linemen in this class. So he goes into a Pittsburgh system that he fits to a T with the way he plays. I think it was the excellent pick. A lot of people had Jackson Dart going here. I thought about it, but I knew it was going to be Derek Harmon or another defensive tackle, or Walter Nolan, who went earlier, was going to fall to the Steelers because one thing about the Steelers, they don't rebuild, they just replace. So this is an excellent pick. Mario Hampton to the Chargers, not surprised. He had a signed Najee Harris, but him playing in Pittsburgh, man, he took a lot of pounding and he was probably worn down. So you had to get somebody younger, more agile that can break the home run play. Najee Harris is not that dude who's going to break the home run play, but Mario Hampton is agile and he's great as a receiver out the backfield. So Justin Herbert gets another guy, a bigger version of Austin Eckler, who he lost to the Washington Commanders. So I like this pick. Matthew Golden. This was a surprise because I thought they were going to go cornerback because they're probably going to trade Jair Alexander at some point or release him. But Matthew Golden makes sense because Christian Watson, who they drafted a couple of years ago in the first round, hadn't panned out. So you get this guy that's a speedster who can kill you short passes, intermediate and vertical, and he can contest catches at his size. And not to mention he runs a 4.2. So you talk about a guy that's a burner. Jordan Love is going to love to throw into this guy. And Jaden Reed, let's not forget about Jaden Reed. You add him to that wide receiver core, Jordan Love is going to have some fun this year. Donovan Jackson, not a surprise here. They're beat up on the offensive line. They lost Ryan Kelly. They lost Bradbury. So it's not a surprise that they took an offensive line. They haven't listed as a tackle, but I think he'll play guard in the NFL. But this is much needed. He can play guard or tackle, but I think he plays guard at the next level. And his flexibility helps. And they got to protect J.J. McCarthy when he comes back or whomever they have up under center until he comes back. Another surprise here. Giants moved back up to take Jackson Dart. And they needed a quarterback. I thought this was going to be Shedeur spot because the way he had a relationship with what is the kid name? Malik Davis, the wide receiver. I thought they would have been a nice tandem, a nice quarterback wide receiver duo. But Jackson Dart climbs the board, ends up at the bottom of the first round. And I'm not surprised because they got Abdul Carter at number 3. So they're trying to get their franchise quarterback. Will that be Jackson Dart? We don't know. But hey, we'll see. Now we get to the Falcons. They say this is a good pick. I think this is an elite pick because going into the offseason, well, last year's draft in 2024, this guy would have been a top 5 pick, and they projected him to be a top 10 pick this year before those injuries kicked in. So I think this guy, man, he's super athletic, long. I think he has great pursuit angles. I think he plays well against the run, but he can also stop. He can also help in the pass defense. He said he had 23% pass rush win rate, which is pretty good. 84.1 run grade, which is excellent, and that's actually higher than Michael Williams. So they may have gotten the biggest steal in the draft right here with James Pierce. This is an excellent elite pick, I think, and I think this pays off in the long run. Arnold Ebiketie is in his 4th year, so this is his contract year. D'Angelo Malone, I think this is his contract year. Zach Harrison, I think he turns the corner, but he plays more in the interior on the defensive line. And these two, with Walker and Pierce, I think they're going to give defensive coordinator nightmares because they can line up all over the field, both of those guys. So we'll see how this plays out, but this is probably the steal of the draft, if you ask me. Malachi Starks, definitely an elite pick. You put him back there with Kyle Hamilton, you got two of the best safety combination in the league. And you look at Marlon Humphrey, the cornerback, he's getting up in age. So to have somebody behind, 2 young guys behind him, that's ball hawks. I think this is an excellent pick. like they say, he high level intelligence, great anticipation to make plays and ball coverage. And you have that with Hamilton and Starks. And they say he have 85.6 run grade. So we know the Ravens like to blitz. So you can see him blitzing off the corner as well, playing in the slot. They're just moving around like a chess piece. And I actually love that pick. But before we get to the last couple of picks, get back to the chat. Raymond, what's good, my dude? Hey, Boss Tucker, I'm excited as well, my brother. My boy John Higgins in here, man. My big brother John, man. We did our thing last night. Today, I think we need a defensive tackle, cornerback, edge rusher. I think we're good on the edge rushers now. Or a really good offensive lineman. Yeah, I like Jared Wilson out of Georgia, man. Or I can see Charles Grant out of William and Mary. So I just think, we need to keep going into the trenches. But cornerback would not be a bad idea because Trey Amos is still on the board. So we'll see. Breeze, what's up, my guy? Yep, Kiara, competition is everything. Competition breeds champions. Hey, Raymond. Hey, they pulled it off, boy. They pulled it off. Yeah, Christmas came early, man. Christmas came early. And we get to the playoff for that next year. It'll be all so sweet. But let's finish this thing up, man. Tyleek Williams, not a surprise. You had to get somebody to run the interior to get some pressure or, block up those run lanes and give Aiden Hutchinson room to roam. He's coming off an injury. So you're definitely going to need that nose tackle for the Detroit Lions. This was an excellent pick. They have it as average, but I think it was an excellent pick. 88.6 run grade, one of the best in the class, 7.8% stop rate. That's what you got to have in the NFL to have your pass rush to eat and to make a difference on defense. Because him coming back from injury is going to be key. And I think they should go back and get Zadarius Smith, re-sign him. But we'll see what happens. But Tyleek Williams at Ohio State, I think it was an excellent pick. Next pick, Josh Connolly. Not a surprise. I thought this would have been Josh Simmons, but they wanted the 2-year starter at left tackle. So he allowed just 2 sacks in the past 2 years, which is pretty good. But I think he's going to play on the right side. I think he's going to play on the right side because, like they said, Larry Tunsil plays on the left side, so they're going to protect Jaden Daniels, and I think this adds to the run blocking as well, which they struggled with last year. So we'll see. And he's athletic. We all know with those mobile quarterbacks, you got to have athletic offensive linemen. Definitely fits the grade. Maxwell Harrison, this was a sneaky good pick. Tre'Davious Ward was re-signed. He's a veteran who's been injured a lot the last 4 years, but learning up under that type guy with a 4.3 speed with Maxwell Harrison, I think this is a sneaky good pick. So they do need help in the secondary, but I'm telling you, if they had got a safety such as Emma Warrior, I think that upgrades that Buffalo defense run defense. But we'll see what happens. Another steal in this draft. Jahad Campbell, who they were saying was injured, but sometimes, man, you can't read into that too much. They're getting another elite player just like they got the last 3 years. So you add this guy along with Nakobe Dean in that linebacking room. They're going to be very athletic at that position. And this guy he has stupid speed to be a linebacker. He knows where he is on the field. He does struggle against the run. On fighting off blocks. So once he masters that, Jahad Campbell will be okay. And landing in Philly right around with Zach Bonds, I think this was a sneaky good move. They haven't picked it as very good, but I think it was an elite move. As they say, the rich get richer. So the Eagles just did. Let's go with the last pick of the first round. This is not a surprise. The Chiefs got ran through in the Super Bowl. Their offensive line couldn't block a cold. So they go get Josh Simmons, one of the bigger offensive linemen, who's um 82.2% pass blocking grade this year, allowing just 1 sack in the last 2 years. Flexible, he can play guard or tackle, but I think he plays left tackle. Um, you got to protect Patrick Mahomes, just that simple. But that's PFF's grade for the first round, and I agree with most of them. Couple of them I don't. But for the most part, they kind of nailed it. But Josh Simmons, I love that pick for the Chiefs because their offensive line was terrible. Nathan, what's good, my dude? Your trade notification need that cousin to the Steelers. Yeah, we need that, man. I don't care if they give him away for a bag of Funyuns right now. I don't want Kirk Cousins in Atlanta no more. I'm gonna just keep it real with you, man. I don't. I don't. Cause look, Kirk Cousins is on that bull crap, man. He on that bull crap. But yeah, man, this has been one of the draft for the ages, man. And once I get off, man, I'm gonna give y'all about 5 players that I think Falcons should look at on day 2. Um, yeah, Keo, they stink, boy. They them funny, boy. They be stinking. But yeah, man. Yeah, Kurt got to go, man. Been too much of a distraction. If it ain't the media, it's him, and he puts himself in a position to be a distraction. We know he went to Cleveland and talked to the Browns. Hopefully, I know we won't get that number 33 pick, but Cleveland has a lot of picks that they can at their disposal. So if they give us 2 picks for Kirk Cousins, I'm all for it. They can give us a 5th and a 6th. I don't care. But he got to get out of here. You hear me? But yeah, man, that's the grades for PFF. And Shadeur Sanders, man, just keep your head up. Because one thing about it, you're gonna have haters all through your life. You just gotta shake it off, man. Shake it off and keep moving. Yeah, Corey. Yeah, the Chiefs had the worst offensive tackle in the league. That right tackle they had last year, boy, I don't even see how he got a job after that Super Bowl. He on punishment breeze. I can see that. Grandazza, Walter Football. Atlanta Falcons, Georgia, grade A. Graded Falcons decided between Michael Williams, James Pierce, and Shamar Stewart. Never in a million years did they imagine that Jaden Walker was available. This is incredible value and fills a need like the Tyler Warren pick. This is an easy A plus. Agreed. But yeah, man, I just stopped in right quick. Give y'all some quick thoughts on Shedeur and how that first round looked. Because I feel like Falcons got one more trick up their sleeve. They still got a 3rd round pick, a 4th round pick, and 1 7th round pick. So we'll see. JJ, I can see Kobe Bryant here. I could definitely see that. Cam Jackson in the 4th. Uh, he could go before the 4th. He's one of those guys that I think could be a sneaky good pick. Jaden Knight, yeah, I like Darian Porter from Ohio State. 6'2.5". I think he's 200 pounds, and he runs a 4.3, former wide receiver. So he knows how to play both sides of the ball. So those instincts from wide receiver can kick in. He's going to be a sneaky good pick. I could see him in Baltimore as well. But see, when I talk defense, Baltimore or Pittsburgh always comes to mind because, like I said, they don't rebuild; they just retool. I believe the teams don't want to put up with Dion. I could see that, but you don't have to put up with Dion. You don't. I mean, you have to put up with his son. His son is who he is and who he's going to be. So that's just that. Hey Ray, they I don't if they were hating with Jalen Mayfield, boy, they definitely making a mistake. Yeah, I can see a next year 3rd or 4th. Um, but as long as we keep those picks that we have and then bring in a Jalen Ramsey, that's all we need. If they can make a move for Jalen Ramsey, um, I'm doing everything I can to move back up the board to go to get Emma Warrior from South Carolina. Just my opinion. That would be the icing on the cake to go get Ramsey, then trade back up to get Emma Warrior. We will definitely be probably talking playoffs next year. Lessons. Pick 83 for Cousins. I would love that. Don't know if it's gonna happen, but I would love it. But yeah, man, I thank y'all for tuning in, man. Quick pop up, talk some football with y'all. Day 2, man. Tune in, man. We may jump on tonight. We'll see. But you know what? We may jump on tonight. We'll see. But that's all time I have for this live, man. Thank y'all for tuning in again. On the way out, man, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and continue to drop those comments. And if you missed our live stream with the NFL draft, go check it out over on the channel. We had a blast. Again, thank my boy John Abraham coming through live from the draft, giving us his thoughts on Falcons taking Jalen Walker. So we'll see y'all later, man. Peace.